Under the great Bodhi tree, the Buddha sat in serene contemplation, surrounded by his eager disciples seeking wisdom. A gentle breeze carried the scent of blooming flowers, mingling with the solemn silence of the enlightened gathering. Among the disciples, a hesitant voice broke through the stillness, asking, "Master, I feel lost in life's vastness." The Buddha turned his gaze toward the speaker, his eyes filled with compassion and his presence radiating peaceful assurance. To feel lost, dear one, is the starting point of self-discovery, the doorway to uncovering your heart's true desires, he began. He gestured toward the sun setting over the distant hills, its light casting shadows of uncertainty on the forest floor. Imagine a traveler wandering without a destination, growing weary yet gaining no fulfillment, only the fatigue of purposeless motion, he continued. Life without intention is much like this wandering, a ceaseless journey that remains empty, devoid of meaning or clarity, he said. But uncertainty is not your enemy. It is the fertile soil where the seed of clarity begins its slow growth, he added. The disciples leaned in closer, their faces marked by curiosity and the thirst for understanding deeper truths hidden in everyday existence. The Buddha gestured toward the earth, emphasizing its silent acceptance of the seeds entrusted to its care, nurturing growth without question. As the earth receives and nurtures, so must you embrace the unknown, letting it shape your purpose through patience, he explained. A disciple asked, "But Master, how can we discover purpose amidst life's chaos, where distractions cloud the heart's true desires?" The Buddha took a moment to reflect, his posture unchanging yet infused with the energy of profound wisdom. Begin by quieting the mind, as calm waters reflect the sky's truth without distortion or interference, he instructed. In stillness, you will hear the whispers of your heart guiding you toward a purpose both humble and honest, he continued. But remember, purpose need not be grand or celebrated. It need only be authentic, resonating with the inner truth you hold, he remarked. He turned his attention to the young disciple Ananda, who had asked questions about life's vast and winding paths earlier. Ananda, do not fear the unknown. For the moment you accept uncertainty, clarity becomes your companion on life's journey, he stated. The Buddha's voice resonated like a flowing stream, filling the disciples' hearts with newfound hope and gentle reassurance. The path to intention begins with quiet reflection, seeking not answers but the silent truth hidden within your deepest doubts, he said. You must listen with humility and courage, ready to discard what is false and embrace the authenticity of your heart, he advised. The Buddha's words lingered, carried by the breeze as his disciples absorbed the depth and simplicity of his teachings. The dust represents your thoughts, the Buddha explained. By letting them settle, the mirror of your mind clears. In that clarity, he said, you will see the truth and hear the silence that has always been there. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, punctuating his words, as if the forest itself bore witness to his teaching. Fear is but a shadow cast by uncertainty. Acknowledge it, for in acceptance, fear loses its hold over the heart, he said. To live with intention requires not the absence of fear but the courage to step forward despite its presence, he advised. The Buddha paused, allowing his disciples the space to contemplate the profound simplicity of his words and their transformative impact. Do not rush in search of answers. Instead, sit with the questions, letting them unfold with patience and introspection, he suggested. He then addressed all gathered, his voice taking on the gravity of universal wisdom as it transcended individual doubts and concerns. Life offers countless paths, each leading toward unique discoveries. Yet intention guides your steps with clarity through the chaos, he declared. Choose not hastily nor blindly, but with the integrity of a quiet mind and a courageous heart willing to embrace its truth, he instructed. The disciples bowed in gratitude, their doubts replaced by the seeds of inspiration planted by the Buddha's wise counsel. The setting sun bathed the forest in golden light, symbolizing the hope and clarity emerging within the hearts of the gathered seekers. In silence, the Buddha continued to sit beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence both profound and humble in its unyielding strength. The disciples dispersed with renewed determination, their footsteps lighter as they carried the gift of wisdom into their individual lives. The wind rustled through the leaves, echoing the eternal truth of intention that guided their wandering souls toward purpose. Another day, under the soft hues of dawn, the Buddha sat beside a tranquil pond surrounded by lotus flowers in bloom. The disciples approached quietly, drawn by the serenity of their master and the profound teachings that awaited them. The Buddha's gaze rested on the lotus, its petals unfolding above the water. A testament to resilience amidst adversity, he spoke gently, his voice carrying wisdom like ripples across the pond. Behold the lotus, its roots anchored in mud. The disciples leaned closer, captivated by the image of the flower rising unstained above the murky waters it called home. The mud nourishes the lotus, yet it remains unblemished, reaching upward toward the light that guides its blossoming, he said. Observe this sapling, fragile yet unyielding, determined to rise despite the challenges of its growth, Buddha instructed. The disciples' eyes followed Buddha's gesture, their thoughts weaving connections between the sapling and their own struggles. The disciples reflected on his words, understanding the profound connection between the flower's journey and their own struggles. Life offers us mud, challenges, sorrows, and doubts, but from it, we may rise, if we embrace both light and shadow, he continued. To live with intention is not to escape the mud but to transform it into the foundation of growth, he said. He gestured to the pond, where the still water reflected the blossoms above and the roots hidden in the depths below. The mud is not our enemy. It is the mirror of life's truths, shaping who we are and who we become, he remarked. Ananda asked, Master, what if the mud feels overwhelming, pulling us down instead of lifting us toward the light? The Buddha smiled, his compassion evident in the gentleness of his response. Ananda, the mud feels heavy only when resisted. Do not fight the mud. Accept its presence, for it holds the lessons necessary for your growth and understanding, he advised. In acceptance, you find strength, and in strength, you rise. Just as the lotus reaches upward despite its murky beginnings, he added. A disciple said, But Master, what if our light feels distant, obscured by the weight of doubt and suffering within us? The Buddha listened intently, then gestured to the flowers around them, their beauty unwavering despite the pond's murkiness. The light remains constant, even when hidden. To seek it requires faith, patience, and an unwavering commitment to your purpose, he explained. Your light need not be grand or perfect. It need only be true, reflecting the authenticity of your heart's intentions, he added. The disciples nodded, inspired by the lotus's quiet determination and the profound symbolism it offered for their own lives. In the lotus's journey lies the essence of intention, embracing both mud and light, rising toward purpose without fear or hesitation, he said. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying the Buddha's words to the disciples' hearts, where they planted seeds of transformation. Ananda asked, Master, how can we discern our path toward the light, when the mud clouds our clarity and resolve? The Buddha reflected for a moment, then pointed to the ripples in the pond. Their flow steady despite the obstacles they met. Clarity comes through stillness. As calm waters reflect the sky's truth, so does a quiet mind reveal your heart's purpose, he replied. Still your thoughts, listen deeply to your inner voice, and you will hear the whispers guiding you toward your light, he said. The disciples pondered his words, realizing that intention begins not with answers but with a willingness to embrace uncertainty and reflection. Do not rush your journey. Allow each step to teach you, and each challenge to reveal the wisdom it carries, he advised. The lotus does not rush to bloom. Its petals open in time, trusting the process and the guidance of the light, he explained. His words lingered like the ripples in the water, touching each disciple with the profound simplicity of their universal truth. A bird's song filled the morning air, its melody rising above the pond, a reminder of freedom found in authenticity. Let the bird be your teacher as well. It sings not to impress but to honor its unique voice, the Buddha noted. As the bird sings its truth, so must you honor yours, following your purpose without comparison or fear, he explained. The disciples nodded, feeling the weight of their doubts lighten as the Buddha's teachings offered clarity and hope for their paths. To live with intention is to rise above doubt, embracing your light even as you navigate the mud of life, he said. Remember, the mud nourishes, but the light guides. Together, they shape the path toward your truth and purpose, he remarked. The disciples bowed, their hearts filled with gratitude for the wisdom shared by their master, whose words illuminated their journeys. The morning sun rose higher, casting its golden light over the pond, symbolizing the hope and clarity emerging within the disciples. In silence, the Buddha remained by the pond, his presence a steady beacon of truth amidst the ever-changing tides of life. The disciples dispersed, carrying the teachings within them like seeds of intention, ready to blossom in their lives beyond the pond. The wind whispered through the trees, echoing the eternal wisdom of the lotus and its unwavering pursuit of the guiding light. Another day, under the crescent moonlight, the Buddha gathered his disciples by the river, its waters glistening in serene motion. The disciples approached quietly, their hearts filled with anticipation for the wisdom their master would impart under the night's calm sky. The river flowed steadily, carrying stones and leaves, its current shaping the landscape while continuing its ceaseless journey toward the unknown. The Buddha picked up a small stone from the riverbank, holding it out as the disciples watched closely. Their curiosity awakened. This stone is shaped by the flow of the river, smoothed by its currents, yet remains grounded in its weight, he began. The disciples listened attentively, sensing that the stone held deeper meaning, its simple presence transformed by the Buddha's gaze. What becomes of the stone as it surrenders to the river's flow, allowing itself to be shaped over time? He asked. One disciple answered, Master, the water smooths its rough edges, transforming it through steady motion into something shaped but not lost. Another added, and the river carries it forward, guiding its path while shaping its nature in harmony with the flow. The Buddha nodded, his serene smile reflecting the understanding shared among his disciples as they pondered his teaching further. Indeed, the stone surrenders to the river's current, neither resisting the flow nor losing its essence within the journey, he said. The disciples reflected on his words, recognizing the parallels between the stone's surrender and their own struggles with life's challenges. Life is like the river. Its currents flow steadily, shaping us as we move, if we allow ourselves to be carried, he explained. Ananda asked, Master, how do we distinguish surrendering to the river from living without intention, drifting aimlessly like fallen leaves? The Buddha placed the stone gently back onto the riverbank, its weight grounding it as the water kissed its surface. Surrender is not giving up, nor is it aimless wandering. It is mindful acceptance of the flow shaping your journey, he replied. To live with intention is to choose your path thoughtfully, trusting the river's current to guide and refine your steps, he said. Ashray took a deep breath. His spirit lightened, his vision unclouded as the significance of the lesson began to settle within. Master, I understand now, Ashray said, his voice steady. I have spent too much time trying to be another's light. A disciple asked, but Master, what if the current feels too strong, overwhelming our ability to hold our ground against its force? The Buddha listened, his eyes reflecting the deep compassion for the disciple's struggles. His presence calming the doubts raised. Do not fear the strength of the current. Instead, surrender to its lessons, for it carries wisdom even within its challenges, he replied. The river does not ask you to control its flow. It asks only that you move within it with intention, he said. The moon's light danced upon the ripples, its reflection symbolizing the harmony between movement and surrender. Guiding the disciples' contemplation, Ananda asked, Master, what if the river's journey leads us away from where we wish to go, disrupting our chosen purpose? The Buddha gestured toward the flowing water, its steady current navigating obstacles with grace. Unwavering in its forward journey, the river flows where it must, yet shapes the paths it touches. Trust its guidance, even when it diverges from your desires, he explained. Intent does not require certainty. It requires faith in the unseen and courage to follow where the flow may lead, he added. The disciples absorbed his words, their hearts stirred by the imagery of the river's unwavering journey through uncertainty and change. Let the river teach you, for in its surrender lies the balance between purpose and adaptability, intention and transformation, he stated. The night grew quieter. The only sound remaining was the gentle murmur of the river echoing the Buddha's profound wisdom. Remember, surrender is not passive, it is active trust, embracing the flow while honoring the truth you hold within, he remarked. The disciples bowed deeply, their doubts softened by the clarity the Buddha offered through his teachings on surrender and intention. The crescent moon cast its glow over the gathered disciples, symbolizing the hope and understanding blossoming within their hearts. The Buddha remained by the riverbank, his presence unwavering, embodying the eternal wisdom carried within life's flowing currents. The disciples dispersed into the night, carrying the teachings like stones shaped by the river. Grounded yet moving purposefully forward, the river's flow whispered through the silence, echoing the truth of intention guiding their paths through life's ceaseless, transformative journey. The disciples carried the Buddha's teachings with them, their hearts alight, their spirits nourished by the light of understanding. In the shade of the banyan tree, a new chapter of growth and purpose began to take root in their lives. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.